In late 2005, Status Quo made an appearance on the long-running British soap opera Coronation Street, participating in a storyline involving longtime Quo fan Les Battersby. I recently caught up with Quo fan Daniel Jordan to talk about this momentous appearance on such an iconic show. We haven't even talked about Coronation Street, but I shall be having Coronation Street centric conversations on this podcast. Were you a fan of that appearance?
Was I a fan? Yes, I was, because it got a bit of publicity for them, didn't it? And publicity. There's such thing as bad publicity. Obviously, there is. Did it do them any harm? Did it tarnish their reputation as a rock band? No, I don't think it did, because everyone's, it's the Quo of that era are the family-friendly band. The appeal.
Yeah.
Les Battersby's a Status Quo fan, as they say, the character and the actor. It was a good fit. It was a bit naff. Obviously, the storyline's a bit over the top.
Yes.
Really is over the top. I think the scene of what makes me laugh is when you see the scene in the pub. I think it's Chesney, where they've got you go at the bar, and you've got Francis Rick and Matt Letley sitting at the table, and he goes in with the jacket.
Yes.
And he goes to sign, and he gives it to Matt to sign. And he goes, "Who are you?" "I'm the drummer." And he goes, "Drummer?" and storms off. And I thought, I could actually see that happening.
Yeah,
in real life.
I'm sure that's based on some kind of realistic
event. Yeah.
And the fact that they use Jack Duckworth as an anchor to show, well, they are famous, but no one else is quite there with it.
Yeah.
So they do a sort of bit with whether people know them or not, but Jack describes them as the 70s lot, which is quite fun.
Yeah. And another story from that would be it did lead to the Beulah Quo film, the guy who done the stunts, which was years later, but it did. The guy who done all the stunt scenes for Corrie was the guy that done Beulah Quo. I think it's Stuart St. Paul, is it?
Stuart St. Paul, yeah.
Yeah, clever, and obviously the compensation or for settling the punch up was them playing at Les and Silla's wedding. Yeah, over the top, I guess. The thing is, you can clearly see they're not actors. The band. But it was fun, and I would love to know. I caught you the other week as somebody at work said, "Status Quo, are you like a Les Battersby?" And I thought, so obviously it stuck. People know 20 years later still of the Quo thing with Corrie. So yeah, I do think it did them no harm. It was good publicity on it for them. I really do think it did them no harm at all.
Going back and rewatching that era where Quo were in it briefly, those episodes, there are a lot of. I was very surprised with how kind of intimate Les is with actual Quo. You kind of imagine someone goes, "Oh, write a script for a Status Quo fan," and you expect, perhaps someone not being a fan would go, "Oh, I love whatever you want," but he was talking about Piledriver and like the various albums, and you could tell that either Bruce Jones, who played Les Battersby, had been helping with some of the information, or they'd really done their research on it. It's sort of gone, in places that I hadn't realised they'd gone. That he was hardcore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe Bruce Jones would probably sell us that. Yeah, I think of a scene now where you see him running. He's got the LPs under his arm running after the band. And I think it's something like Blue for You at the front, or something. Well, it's one of the 70s albums at the front anyhow.
I think If You Can't Stand the Heat's in there somewhere.
Yeah, and you see them go across the floor, I think. And you see the punch-up scene. Yeah. What makes it a bit over the top is the guy who... It was a strange fit, really, because we know it's not really what it's like. The guy who's like the roadie for the band, with the cowboy hat on, and like the necktie thing. That's kind of not how it is. The little... people carrier they're travelling around in. And what band would actually play their own song out so loud and out their own. Imagine being on Quo's bus and they're blasting out their own song. I don't think you'd see that happen.
No, I don't think so. It's all things that kind of heightened it. It made it. It was a bit of fun. It was a bit of fun. It was something that Corrie had done very well. That was sort of the last era, I think, of like the romp in soap, where it could be so over the top and ridiculous, and it was just a fun thing. Thanks once again to Daniel Jordan for talking to me about this moment in Quo history. Tell me, what do you think of their appearance on Coronation Street? Is it memorable for you in some way? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you again for another episode of the Quo-Cast.